Hey, let's get started. Okay. We're on 1-4. That's after 3. It's before 5. See? We're learning already. Okay. So, here's your first batch. Your warm up. Pull out those whiteboardy things gave you. Do those answers. Hit pause and do those answers. Okay, and now we're back. All right, now here's the answers. I didn't even write the problem down wrong. Well, now I'm going to have to do it the way I drew it. It's supposed to be 1.5 plus 1.5, but I did it wrong. Sorry. All right, 1.5 plus a half. Well, that's going to give you 2. Okay, here we go. 4 and 4, that's going to give you the 8. 1/3 plus another third. You got 2/3. That's what you got. The 8, 2/3. I tell you, Mike? Yeah, I did. Okay. 6 and 6 is 12. 1/6 and 1/6, that's 2/6. If you want to get fancy, you could say, hey, 2/6 is the same as 1/3 because you can divide the top and the bottom by 2 and you end up with 12 and 1/3. Yes, it is the same thing. Okay, now for the next batch. These ones are going to be a little bit harder. Okay, hit pause and write them down. Do the answers and then come back. Hey, yes, now you're back. All right, here we go. 4, 4, 4. That's going to give you 12. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. That's 3/4. No, it's not 12. So you don't add up the denominators, man. They stay the same. 4, 4, 4. Same. Yeah. It's the way you do it. It's coming back to you. I know it is. All right, here we go. 3 and 4 is 7. 1/5 and 2/5 is 3/5. Here we go. All right, we're moving on from here. Let's do this one, not Clive. 2 and 1/8. Well, that's 2 plus 3 plus 1. That's going to give me 6. It is 6. 1/8 and 1/8 is going to give 2 more. 2 8s plus another 3 give me 5 8s. That's 6 and 5 8s. Wipey all that. Let's get the next ones up. Here they are. Write them down. Right now. Hit pause. There you go. Okay, did you get the answers yet? If you didn't, that's because you didn't hit pause. Go do that. Come on. Well, I got to do everything here? All right. 2 and 2 is 4. 2 more is 6. 6. 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3 is 3/3. So it's 6 and 3/3, right? Next. No, you can't leave it as 3/3. No. What's 3/3? If you have 3 out of 3 of something, you just have the whole thing. 3/3 of it, get you there. So that's the same. That becomes a 1. Put it with the 6, you get 7. All right. Well, it's getting a little trickier, but here we go. 2 and 3 is 5. 4 7ths and 5 7ths is 9 7ths. Whoa. Now we got a whole problem. So we got to figure, wait a minute, 7 7ths would have given us one more over here. So really that should be a 6. And how many were left over? 7 7ths up to 9. Yeah, that's 2 were left over. So that becomes your new numerator. Denominator, of course, just stays the same. 6 and 2 7ths. Here we go. Add them up. You get 10. 8s, and 8. We know it's going to be 8s. I can just put that there. It's going to stay the same. 5 and 3 is 8, and 7 more is 15. So we got to change 15 eighths. Well, you got to say how many 8s fit into 15. 1 of them does. How many are left over? 7 of them are. That becomes the new numerator. Put that on the bottom. Is that my answer? No. You got to put the 1 with the 10. So we get 11 and 7/8. How'd you do? Yeah, I know. They were getting harder. But you're like, I get it. No problem, man. I got this. Okay. Here we go. Here's what you need to know for 1-4. My sock is not doing that great a job today. Look at this. Look at this residue. Can't work like this. Okay. Sorry. Okay. You're doing some area problems, but the book is throwing you a curveball from this lesson. Okay? Stick with me, and you'll learn how to hit the curveball. Okay, so let's say I've got a 2-foot by 3-foot rectangle. Okay, and you're like, okay, what's the area? Yeah, cool. I just do 2 times 3. So 2 feet times 3 feet, and that's because let's say my feet's easy looking about like this. Okay, each one of these little squares, how big is it? It's 1 square foot because it goes, this distance is 1 foot and this distance is 1 foot. That's what 1 square foot is. Actually, isn't drawn to scale. 1 square foot is closer to like my entire teacher volume here. All right, so what's the area of this? It says, oh, the area would be 6 square feet. Okay, fine, 6 square feet. But that's not good enough for the book. It's going to say, well, Francine was taking her 2 foot by 3 foot rug, and she decided to cover it up with some pieces of fabric that were a half a foot by a half a foot. Right? You think, okay, so if it's half a foot instead of a foot, so it'd just be double the number, right? No. Watch. So, if I'm going to break it up into little squares that are a half a foot now by a half a foot, so it's like this. So I've got to go, here's where my old mark was to get up to 2. 1 foot, 2 foot. So a half a foot would go there and there. These are now half a foot or 6 inches. It's another 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches. That makes 24 inches. That's 2 feet, right? So I'm going to just go. Now, same thing. I'm going to draw little half foot marks here. So here were my old 1 foot marks for the 3 feet, which means the half a foot going this way would be right there, there, and there. So there's a half a foot going this way. That's 6 inches. There's another 6. Here's another 6. Another 6, another 6. So how many half inch or half foot squares does it take to cover this? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It actually takes 24. So it's 4 times as much. Okay, so the book is going to give you different funky shapes, and it's going to tell you what size square you're starting with. If it is a third size square, 1/3 of a foot, even though that's a ridiculous number, let's just say it was anyway. All right, so let's say if this is, I don't know, 4 feet, and this is 3 feet, okay? Dropped my sock, and now I could have erased that. Okay, whatever. So if I'm going to draw little bitty squares that are 1/3 of a foot by 1/3 of a foot, okay, that means I go up by 1/3 every time here. So it's going to be a small. So if this is 4, that means that's 2 right there. 1, 2. So that means this is about where my 1s are. And now I've got to break each of this. If this is 1 foot, this distance here in this drawing, and I've got to make 1/3 of a foot, means I've got to have 3 of these. There's 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, okay? It's going to look like this. I have to do these little lines. So is it a pain? Yes, it's a pain. So don't get, I think I'm just giving up on this example. The point is, when it tells you what size square you're going to use, that's when you're going to have to start using that and drawing on the little drawing that it's got there for you. It's tricky. And it's a little obnoxious to do on lesson 1-4, everyday math, in case you were looking for any editorial suggestions. Now, but you can handle it. You'll be all right. It's only a couple pages. You're going to do pages 10, 11. Those are the ones that are going to be a little tricky. And then you're going to do 12, which is the math box. You're going to do 10 through 12. Now, because I have a habit of writing things. You see what that says? It says that D of number math box, what's that, 4? I wrote a note that says D equals stupid. And generally, when I make those marks, I don't make my kids do things that are stupid. Sometimes I will. All right, I take that back. I'm sometimes going to ask you to do stupid things. But I'm not going to ask you to do 2D. It's that stupid. You can skip it. If you're like, I'm going to do it anyway, then you can just go do it. Okay. So everybody else is going to do pages 10 through 12, and then you're going to do the home link, which is 1-4. All right? Get on it. Do it. Turn off this thing. Go do your work.